Started the podcast and I realised my microphone was about a metre away from me. But welcome to Crypto with Kash Cast episode number 11. That was a bad start. Hello, Kash. How are you doing?
I'm all good. How are you?
I'm okay. I feel like I don't need to introduce you properly anymore because the masses know who you are now. You're famous enough.
We've been doing this for a while now, yeah?
Yeah, 11 times apparently. You look very smart. Have you had a haircut or something?
No, I've like tied my hair back.
Yeah.
And I've trimmed my beard up a bit.
Yeah.
Over lockdown, I started like trimming my own beard, and I've gotten quite good at it now, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, you look. One of my friends. This is what you do when you're 34 years old. I went over to my friend's house and he got his beard trimming kit out and showed me. He was very proud of his beard trimming kit.
There's loads of fancy ones out there. I've been through quite a few myself. Funnily enough, I settled on one that wasn't even the most expensive one, which is great.
Yeah, the underdog.
Yeah.
So we're not sponsored by a VR company this week. We're sponsored by a beard trimming.
Yeah. I mean, let's just get as many sponsors as we can, really.
Yeah. Well, in reality, we have no sponsors. So if anyone wants to sponsor us, the local fish and chip shop, whatever.
Anything.
We've got two things we're going to do this episode. One is we're going to talk about a hack because a large exchange was either hacked or had some problems. I'll ask you about that in a minute. And the other one, I just wanted to ask you, Kash, your top 5 sort of people you follow or look up to or look to for advice in the crypto space. We'll maybe talk about the hack first.
Yeah.
And then talk about your top 5 people.
Yeah, let's do that. That's cool.
Let's pretend we didn't just discuss this 5 minutes ago.
No, that sounds good.
Okay, so this hack, what's happened? Because I only saw headlines.
So it's a developing issue at the moment, and what's happened is apparently, so one of the wallets associated with Crypto.com, which is an exchange and a wallet, software. Apparently, there's been signs of a breach where funds have been, getting removed from the wallet address. And what's been happening is that these funds have been sent into like Tumblr services like Tornado Cash, where essentially it's a way for you to add a certain level of privacy to your transactions to hide or, stop people from being able to trace your transactions.
It stops that trail, doesn't it? So it like mixes
essentially it removes the paper trail. A lot of people think that cryptocurrencies are completely anonymous, but there are ways that, and there are very sophisticated programs out there now that add labels to many wallets out there. And people use these services, these Tumblr services, to essentially prevent people from being able to track what they're doing with the money. And considering that, these funds have been stolen, of course, there's going to be authorities chasing them. And this is their way of avoiding that from happening.
So just to highlight the exchange, it's crypto.com. And if people aren't familiar with it, it's a massive exchange, isn't it? It's maybe not as big as Coinbase or Binance or as well known.
Yeah, it's not as big as those ones, but it is definitely up there. If I'm not mistaken, I think they recently bought out the Staples Corner Stadium, which is huge.
Yeah,
they've done very well this past 12 months.
Yeah, they've been on like an advertising tear for over a year.
Absolutely. I think they even had Matt Damon in one of their
yeah, they did actually,
in their marketing videos, which is quite interesting to see. But unfortunately, it goes back to why we always say try to avoid keeping your money on exchanges. If you have a significant amount, then perhaps consider storing them in your own private wallet, in a personal wallet, or best thing of all is probably a hardware wallet.
I guess the conflict there is like the reason people wanted to keep money on crypto.com is because they offered like high yields on
Exactly, that's the thing. You have to weigh up your options in that case. Like when you do keep it on these exchanges, they offer you staking rewards for some of the coins. And if you are going to hold for the long term, then it would make sense for you to just keep it on the exchanges and earn some extra interest on the side. But of course, keeping it on the exchange comes with these sort of risks. I think in this case in particular, the company, the CEO just tweeted earlier how they have reimbursed everyone's losses. But there have been incidences in the past where, money has gone missing or money has been stolen and exchanges are have simply just refused to reimburse losses.
Yeah, you reminded me of like the classic one the other day, or the original one, I guess, which was Mount Gox, which when I was reading on Wikipedia, it lost like 850,000
something,
Bitcoin.
something crazy. And to this day, people have still not received their holdings.
Yeah, which is billions and billions worth of dollars of.
Which wasn't that much at the time, of course.
Yeah, only like what was it, like 450 million only?
Only.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it's good that it sounds like they're trying to reimburse people.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's a good reminder of like if you are leaving your crypto on an exchange, you're trusting that exchange with your money.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, well, then we'll move on to the next thing on our agenda today. Don't know why I'm saying it like that. I thought it'd be interesting just to find out the people you look to, because there's a lot of people in the Crypto with Kash community that look to you for advice and your research on the portfolio coins, and just, you know, when the markets are going up and down, your advice on what to do. Who do you look to? It doesn't have to be, you know, like for crypto recommendations. It could be for anything, just people in the crypto space that you follow and maybe you think it would be good for other people to be aware of.
Yeah, I think it's an important question to ask, because, you know, if you search Bitcoin on YouTube or just search crypto on YouTube, you'll see hundreds of content creators all making that classic YouTube face where like they're screaming or making the shock face.
I literally just wrote something about this, and I had a picture of somebody's face.
Yeah, it's the same thing every single time, and it's just like it does really get boring. And I try to avoid those sort of people, because essentially what they're doing is they're just using these faces and clickbait titles to attract users to their channel. They're not really providing that sort of analysis or relevant information that perhaps is important to maneuver these markets. So I try to avoid those. Of course, there are good YouTubers out there with that do provide a lot of information, but they're harder to come by, because, you know, the way the algorithm works is that they reward users, unfortunately, that do make these clickbait titles and do use these, you know, strange looking thumbnails. But when it comes to Twitter, there are quite a few people that I follow. I try not to, you know, follow people with the same sort of mindset that I do, that I have when it comes to crypto. I don't want to be in a sort of, you know, echo chamber, where it just confirms the perhaps the bias that I have towards crypto, which is it's a booming industry, and it's only going to get bigger.
That's interesting. So before you start talking about the people, like what kind of stuff do you try and expose yourself to that are like that kind of challenges your own views on crypto?
So, for example, there are maximalists. There are people who are perhaps Bitcoin maximalists who only believe in Bitcoin and believe that every single other crypto is a complete and utter scam, even Ethereum, for example. Not realizing that perhaps, again, this might be my biases creeping in, but not realizing that perhaps were it not for all these other cryptos, then crypto would not be as big as it is today. You know, no one really talks about Bitcoin as much anymore. They're always talking about the next meme coin or the next metaverse project or the next NFT project. And were it not for these other cryptocurrencies, then this whole industry would not be where it is today. That's what I believe.
Yeah, you just have to look at the market caps of the different sectors and the different, like the market cap of Ethereum. Like none of it's as big as Bitcoin, but it's not small.
Bitcoin is by far the largest cryptocurrency, but its dominance as an overall percentage of the whole market has been dropping considerably over the past few years, which is natural, because as more cryptocurrencies come out, they're going to take more market share away from Bitcoin. But I will start with the ones that I do like. So Sam Bankman-Fried is someone I've talked about quite a lot. He's involved with many crypto projects. He's done very well for himself. Within the last few years, he's managed to accumulate, you know, billions. I think he's now worth over $24 billion, which is an immense amount of wealth to accumulate in just such a short period of time.
Maybe he was behind Mount Gox. This is all adding up.
You know what's funny enough? I don't even think he was involved in crypto back then. So
really?
He joined apparently sometime during 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
That is crazy then, because 2014, you know, 2014 is not that long ago.
Yeah. And so apparently, the way I understand it was Sam Bankman-Fried was actually involved in the traditional markets, and then he transitioned and moved over to crypto, and he found a way to essentially not exploit but take advantage of inefficiencies within the market. So he realized that, okay, Bitcoin's trading at this price in the US, for example, but in South Korea is trading much higher for whatever reason, perhaps due to difficulties in getting money exchanged over to the currency there. So he found a way to set up banks and accounts, obviously all legally, and he made a lot of money through there. And then he started working with, projects within crypto, and he was quite early in Solana, which is an ecosystem and blockchain that I'm bullish on, to be honest, because it's very fast, it's very cheap to use, and the quality of projects that are building on there now is just incredible.
And he's heads a couple of cryptocurrency projects and tokens, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he's the CEO of FTX. FTX is an up-and-coming exchange that's been doing very well. I think they just launched a $2 billion fund. They announced it just a couple of days ago.
I'm just numb to all these money numbers now. It's just like
exactly in crypto, billions of dollars are thrown around like it's nothing, and them announcing that is very, very, it's still very significant. I think it's the largest fund that's been announced in the space so far. So yeah, they're doing very well. He's also involved. I think he was the CEO of Alameda Research, which is also a trading firm. Apparently, they do over $1 billion of volume per day, which is incredible. And they've been doing very well. They invest in crypto startups as well. So yeah, he's all over the place, and he's been doing very well.
And what do you look to him for? Like when do you just like to keep track of what he's up to, the latest projects?
Keep track of what he's up to and what sort of projects he's investing in. He announced recently that he believes this year is going to be big for Ethereum alternative projects such as Solana and Avalanche. So it's interesting to look at these projects. When you see these people speaking so positively about a certain project, it says a lot. One, of course, they may have vested interests in these projects, and two, it's because they have access to the best data, the best teams, and if they are, bullish on certain projects, and it says a lot.
Okay, cool. So he's number one on the list then.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites, and I really like the fact that, for example, FTX, they donate 1% of all their profits to charity. They've donated a lot of money to charity, which is always nice.
Yeah, that is really cool.
The next one is CZ, the CEO of Binance.
Right. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so many people have said that he's arguably the richest person in crypto, and if not the world. Due to the nature of cryptocurrencies, it's very difficult to tell exactly who owns what crypto assets.
Just tweet him and ask. Just
in a recent interview, it was revealed that he has his stakes in the companies that he's invested in is worth around $96 billion. So his net worth, according to Forbes, is $96 billion, and that doesn't even include his personal crypto holdings.
Yeah,
he's been in crypto, I think, since 2013. So the real number is probably a lot higher,
Yeah, I'm writing a new guide and I was going to sell it for like 20-30 quid. I'm thinking that I'm going to sell it for a couple hundred grand, and then I'll catch up with him.
Yeah, and considering the fact that Binance is the largest crypto exchange, they receive more volume than any other exchange out there, and he's making a certain percentage of every trade that happens. The real numbers are probably much higher.
I'd say like he also, Binance is kind of it's been in the news a lot. It's had some bad press around certain different things. My sort of, I guess, what would you call it? Like my impression of it is maybe a bit negative. And I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the accumulation of headlines and stuff. So it's interesting you've picked him. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what do you look to him for? Like, is it for his insights into the space?
His insights into projects. It's also interesting to see what sort of projects get added onto Binance. Of course, they have like a very rigorous screening process before they add projects on there. Of course, there are always going to be ones that are perhaps the general perception may be that these aren't quality projects that they add, but generally speaking, they do have a very strict screening process. So the ones that do get added, that perhaps there's an idea that they have potential, so it's worth looking into those projects.
Yeah.
So, and just generally speaking, I have a lot of respect for him, considering what he's done for the for the space. If it weren't for Binance, again, I don't believe we would be where we are today. The features that they offer just far exceed those which are offered from the competition. And there's a reason why Binance is number one. It's because they get the most volume, and the features that they offer, the staking rewards they offer, it's far better than anywhere else.
I guess next to Coinbase, it's the most sort of ease of use kind of setting up an account. It's what people are used to kind of to start investing in something.
And I think the reason Coinbase has started adding more cryptocurrencies now, I think they added more cryptocurrencies in 2021 than they did in the 3 years prior, is to compete, with the likes of Binance.
Yeah, I mean, we see that with your Crypto Cash portfolio recommendations. Like, you always list where people can buy the cryptos.
Yeah,
and I think all of them, or
every single one, I would say,
is on Binance because it offers such a diverse range of like cryptos. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so he's number two. Number three.
Number three, a person that I like who's been involved in crypto, I think many people would know him, someone called Kobe. So he used to be called Crypto Cobain, but now he's changed his name to just Kobe.
Right. Okay.
I think he was very, very early into crypto. He's just very good. Like he writes these articles on what he believes the narratives are going to be in the next quarter or the next upcoming year.
That's interesting.
And when you read his articles, you realize that he's a very intelligent person. He isn't someone who just came into crypto and got lucky for just stumbling upon crypto early doors. He's someone who takes a very systemic approach to his investing, and everything is calculated, and just the things that he tweets about and thinks about, I just really enjoy reading his analysis. So I think he's definitely one to keep on the radar as well.
Is it kind of big picture stuff? Like he's looking at like
definitely
big things that are going to affect like the crypto space over the next year, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. So he's actively been involved with a number of projects which have also done very well. Last I checked, Lido, which is the Ethereum staking platform, has over $12 billion worth of Ethereum staked on the platform. They've also added functionality for Solana, for example, and I think Avalanche is coming soon as well. So yeah, he's done very well. Last I checked, I think he mentioned he's actually become a billionaire recently, which is also, it's highly commendable considering he came from essentially nothing. But for his research and analysis, he's managed to do very well for himself.
Podcast number 100, Cash, will be when you're announcing you're a billionaire. I can feel
that's a funny one because I have certain thoughts when it comes to billionaires. I haven't fully set my mind on what I think about it, but at the end of the day, it's an achievement, And
we should talk about that. I reckon next time, if nothing crazy has happened in the crypto news, we should talk about that because I think that would be really interesting. Because I think I would.
You have thoughts about billionaires as well?
Yeah, we've got thoughts about billionaires, and we can rant
billionaires.
About it. Yeah,
let's have a word with them.
Yeah, like let's dedicate an episode to just discussing that stuff because I think it is important. Like in the crypto space, you're just surrounded by money hungry and people, money hungry information and headlines, and people just like wanting financial freedom and stuff. I think that would make an interesting.
And we've talked about this in the Telegram group actually, when we've posted pictures of visualizing what a million is and what a billion is and what multiple billions look like. I think the human brain finds it difficult to comprehend the difference between a million and a billion. We're not programmed to understand it that much, but you better understand it when you look at pictures,
Only Jeff Bezos can taste the difference. That's between a million and a billion. Okay, so I think we've done 3. Have you got 2 more on your list of people?
The other 2, there's another person called Pentoshi or Pentosh, I think sometimes. he refers to himself as. He's a very, very good trader, I would say. He follows narratives and he's quick to pick up on certain narratives that come up in crypto. So as we have seen new narratives pop up from time to time, it could be NFTs, it could be the metaverse, it could be layer 2 protocols, it could be, Ethereum alternatives, it could be decentralized finance, it could be stores of value. He's very quick to pick up on these trends. And of course, he capitalizes on them by taking trades related to that. And he very publicly makes calls, which is good to see, because a lot of people out there only post their winnings. They never talk about their losses. But just the other day, he mentioned how he lost around 1 point something million, which is nice to see. It shows integrity, because there are, like I said, there are people out there who pretend they only make winnings, and that's just unrealistic. But it's nice to see someone who has integrity and has honesty when it comes to the things.
Otherwise, it's just marketing, isn't it? Which
exactly.
Which is my job, but it can be bad.
No, but of course, there's good and bad.
You want to be transparent and show people
exactly
the full picture.
And of course, another person I would say is Zhu Su. I hope I haven't butchered that name, but Zhu Su, he's the CEO of 3 Arrows Capital, which is another hedge fund.
You bring him quite you've talked about him quite a lot in some of the newsletters and stuff.
So again, these are, I would say, superstars in the crypto space. Again, they've been very early into a lot of projects that have done well, such as Avalanche, and another one that we've recently talked about, Mina. Zhu Su has been actually an early investor in Mina, and he sees the potential that a project like that can have, because as we have seen, blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum are just getting bigger, and when you come to download, the entire block size, the entire blockchain onto your system, if you want to run your own node, it's going to take hours, if not days, to download. But projects like Mina, they take a matter of seconds to download, and you can have a full node running on your computer, on your iPad, on your phone. So I think it's a very interesting product there. And, he's been investing heavily into these sort of Ethereum alternatives. He very publicly denounced his support for Ethereum, saying that, it's become far too expensive for people to use, only for him to go back on his words like weeks later when the price dropped and said, okay, let me buy up now the price has gone down. But he's very good.
He's using Twitter properly then. He's, he knows what he's doing.
You could say that, but at the same time, you could also say that perhaps he knew that the trend was down, so he thought, let me sell now and buy back low, which is what you're meant to do as a trader, But he's very good. He's also managed to accumulate a lot of wealth within the crypto space. I think last I checked, he had over $10 billion of assets under management, which is huge, but allows them to invest in invest and support so many new crypto startups with very exciting use cases. So
I think just generally, I wish I could remember the names of some of them, but following crypto native investment firms like that can be a really good way to see where kind of institutional money is going, because I think a lot of those firms, it seems to me like they're investing on behalf of like institutional clients that maybe can't do it because they're sort of stuck in traditional finance, whatever. So seeing the portfolios that these guys have built, it's interesting to see what
the people I mentioned are all crypto native. They may have been they may have started off from traditional finance and then move into crypto, but now they're strictly crypto native in the sense that they're doing all they can to benefit crypto companies within this space. They're not like a traditional finance VC where they see the potential in crypto and they just like start chucking money in, not being able to even provide any sort of assistance or advice to the projects involved. These projects, these people live within crypto, so they know what to talk about, what things need improving, so they can actually provide value to these companies they invest in.
Can I add one person to the list?
Of course.
And it's maybe a very obvious person, but I find the person is Vitalik Buterin. I think
he was on my list as well, actually.
The founder of Ethereum, and I think I've read like a few of his blog posts. Like he posts blog posts fairly regularly. And the thing that I really like about him is quite a lot of the blog posts I've read from him. He writes a lot about like the social element of finance and communities and cryptocurrency, which I think kind of in some way flies in the face of the very individualistic nature that crypto can take on. You know, like we don't need trust between people because we have trust in the technology. The technology eradicates the need for trust between people. But some of the stuff he's written about, like social crypto wallets, I found really interesting. You know, instead of having to remember a seed phrase to secure your cryptocurrency in a wallet, you just pick 6 friends or people you trust, and they kind of secure your transactions for you. You know, like to move a large amount of money out of your wallet, 4 of them would need to okay it. And to me, that I like that because it's like combining the novel crypto technology with the reality of like being in a community and trusting people, but you're not having to trust one specific thing like a bank. You can choose, like, I'm going to trust my 2 best mates, a bank as well, maybe another institution. But if the bank tries to screw me over, I'm not screwed over because I have other people that are safeguarding my assets too. So like, and there's a few other things like crypto cities he wrote about. I kind of skim read that one because these blogs are really long, but like, I like that about the way he thinks about stuff. He doesn't seem to be too money orientated.
Yeah, there's no denying that. Like even if you see his pictures, he's very unique in the way he dresses. He has like a cartoon style watch. I think he's worth over $1 billion. But again, the clothes he wears are not expensive at all. And he definitely is focused on like, you know, furthering this space more than anything else. He definitely is one of the most influential people in crypto, you know. He popularized smart contracts, and the vast majority of the top 100 projects are based on top of Ethereum. And he was, funny enough, he was on my list, but I was thinking, okay, let me go further down the list than to post, because the thing is, he does tweet a lot, but he's not an active trader. You know, I think when it comes to, and he does focus mainly on Ethereum projects, but the crypto space is now more than Ethereum, which is why I went with perhaps the other ones I mentioned.
Next time we'll do top 10.
Yeah.
Top 20, top 100.
Yeah. We'll be here all day.
Yeah. There's a really interesting interview with him, Vitalik, and it's with, I think he's called
Lex Friedman.
Yeah. So it's just like it's probably like 4 hours or something. So you probably put it on in the background, but it's literally just like a sit down conversation. But like all that guy's interviews are really, really good.
Yeah, he's isn't he an MIT professor himself?
I don't know. He wears a suit.
He's very intelligent as well. I like his podcast.
Yeah, he's really like.
He's a great interviewer.
Yeah. I need to study him for this. Next time I'll have a suit on and I'll be asking you meaning of life style questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for taking us through your top 5. I think it was interesting because I'd not heard of at least 3 of those. So I'm going to go and look up more about them. What we'll do is we'll put links to their Twitter profiles maybe in the description below the podcast. We're coming up to half an hour, so I say thank you very much for your time, Kash.
Thank you very much for having me.
And again, your beard looks fantastic and your hair.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much.
And thank you to everyone who's been listening. And if you have any questions or topics or themes you want us to talk about, just leave a comment under the YouTube video or drop us an email. Or if you're part of Crypto with Kash, stick it in the Telegram group or email us and we'll try and cover it. We appreciate if you subscribe, if you want more of this stuff. And you can leave us a like if you like.
Comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I don't think there's a dislike button on YouTube anymore, is there? It's like,
why would you? Yeah, they removed it. I think it still exists, but you can't see the count.
Yeah, that's a nightmare for like crypto scam stuff because you can't see can't see like.
Actually, I've been thinking about that. I know we're about to end the podcast, but it is very annoying because I used to use that to gauge whether a video is a scam or not.
Yeah.
But now that that's been removed, it's very difficult to tell, you know.
I guess you just got to look at ratio of like views to likes and have a guess. Like, yeah. But yeah, that's anyway. Yeah, nice note to finish on. YouTube is getting worse, and then we're uploading the podcast to it. Okay. Well, until next week, thank you again, Kash, and I will close this down.